Jovin, you so dumb.
Hey please, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hey, if you're not, welcome back, Bookie. So if you're new here, welcome back to another edition of our Random Rant. It's where we talk about any and everything, and these videos are typically unedited, uncut, so you can see the real, raw, authentic. We talk about typically random things, but sometimes it's not random. But a lot of the times I don't really try to make it educational. It's just me like ranting, and if you catch something in between the rant, it was meant for you to catch, okay? Today I'm already backed up on content. I'm backed up on a lot of things, so I'm gonna be braiding my hair while I talk to y'all. Yeah. So, I know last time we talked, like I wasn't gonna do any more random rants. Well, I consider not doing it anymore. But the simple fact is, like, these are nice fillers because I don't have to edit it and I can just toss y'all these videos and give y'all like updates so you know what's going on type stuff. What recently happened with me? Oh, I didn't really get into it, but I really want y'all to understand the notion of quality over quantity. I said what I said on TikTok about like, you have to understand the purpose of quality over quantity. And then somebody replies to me and says, well, I just think it's quantity over quality because people steal money. And I wanted to shed light on that. Like, I'm not coming at that person. I just wanted to shed light on that because I'm not disregarding. I mean, I end up replying to him, but it's just like, I got to spread the word everywhere. I'm not disregarding what this person has said. I do understand that people take advantage of the notion of quality over quantity, but you start to see the downturn. I'm looking at the mirror. You start to see the downturn of quantity over quality as it pertains to the food industry. Like with American food, the notion is typically we have to feed the masses. And when you feed the masses, a lot of the times people end up cutting corners. And when they cut corners, a lot of recalls happen. So it's all based on the person. But understand, you don't have to, it's not everything that's quality over quantity. Okay, I just want y'all to understand the notion. Not everything is quality over quantity. And I'm not, like I told you, I'm not bashing the person who replied. I love having intellectual conversations, seeing where people's brains at. If you would have replied to me and would have said something to prove his point, would have ate that up. Yum, delicious, you know? I did a debate. Like, I love a good debate. I love a good, bouncing ideas. I love that. I'm all here for it. I'm not one of those people here. Like, I'm not one of those people who are going to cut you off midpoint and be like, you're ignorant. You don't know what you're talking about. And then they switch it after they talk. They switch it after they call you ignorant, after they start like downplaying what you say and they start talking about your looks and just deterring the conversation from the main point of itself. The conversation was never about looks. It was about blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not the type to do that. If anything, I might say, let's agree to disagree. Because at this point, especially if I feel as if I'm hitting a brick wall, then let's agree to disagree. But if we're having a conversation and we can both see where each other's coming from, as crazy as it may seem, like you'd be like, you know what, I can. Because one thing about any conversation is you have to be open-minded. If you're not open-minded to hear the other side, at this point, you shouldn't even be trying to bounce off ideas. There is no point whatsoever. No point. You got to walk in with an open mind. Okay. But yeah, so that happened. What else happened? I got into it with the good Lord. Now, me and the good Lord, y'all know, I talk to that man. Me and that man be talking. And I done shared a lot of testimonies with y'all with situations I was in where, to be honest, and that's why, when I reference religion, I'm not knocking other religions. I'm just a Christian, so I'm not like knocking other people who are other religions. But as it pertains to religions, and I think I mentioned that before, they tend to have the same ideologies with peace, love everybody, the same notions. At least when I took my world religion class and I was learning about different religions, they share the same ideologies. The stories and the people involved may be different, but the overall like the overall what's the word I'm looking for? The overall gist of the message tends to be the same. You know? Okay, exactly. So I'm not like, so when I talk about religion, I don't want y'all to think like I'm doubting anybody else's religion. Like, yeah, us Christians, we one of them girls. Because I understand there are extreme Christians. There are extreme Christians where it's like, you're not living by the Bible. Tomato, tomato, tomato. You know, like everybody is walking with the Lord or whoever you're walking with at their own pace. And that understanding with your higher up is there with you and them. You know, like I never liked when Christians did that. Like you shun people for certain things. Not, I mean, some things it's like, I'm not saying don't let people know what they're doing is wrong, but shunning them completely and letting them know you're not going to make it into heaven is wild. That is wild. That's wild. Because especially if like they just started their walk. Wow, that is crazy. That's crazy. But then again, some things it's just like, that's what I'm saying. That right there, religion in itself is a touchy subject. Religion in itself is something that's one of those intellectual conversations I don't tend to have with people because I understand like people are extreme and you can't, it's easy to persuade people on topics they don't have strong beliefs in. And that my job isn't to persuade you, but with the art of persuasion, you have to understand everybody that is able to be persuade, they're able to be persuaded simply because they came in with, going back to what I said, coming in the conversation with the open mindset. You don't have to leave there believing what I believe. But the fact that you were kind of persuaded, like you could consider it, is simply because you came in with the open notion. When it comes to religion, people aren't really open. It's either, you know, exactly. Yeah. So there's that. I got into it with him. Not really got into it with him. I just got upset. And I feel as if like that, I'm dramatic. I am. That's why I keep telling y'all like the Lord knows me and I know the Lord. My camera's about to die, but my other battery's charged. So I'll probably be back. But I see the light blinking at me. Matter of fact, I'm going to stop it and then I'm going to change out the battery and come back. I was anticipating the battery dying simply because I was recording yesterday. And one thing about me, it's easy to record, but somehow like when it comes to editing, it's not that I don't like editing. I do like editing, but it's just, I don't know what it is, y'all. So I record a lot and then like edit in bulks. So I'll record at random, but I edit in bulks. I don't know. I just feel like if I'm sitting to edit, I want to just edit a whole bunch back to back to back and get it over with. My biggest problem with editing is like my iPad dying. Like I'll be editing and I'll be on to like video number 3 and I'm on a roll and my iPad be like, I'm tired, girl. What you mean you tired? Anyways, but yeah, going back to what I was saying, me and the Lord, and I feel as if, I almost forgot. I have to break the back first. I feel as if everybody goes through this in a way as it pertains to their walk with any religion. And I say this because it's like walking by faith is hard. It's hard. And to be honest, I rock with the Lord the way I rock with the Lord simply because there's a lot of things that I've been doing in life that just, you can't really explain. And there's a lot of situations where I've been in jams, y'all. When I say jams, I've been in jams. And it's just like, I just want y'all to understand that when it comes to me and that man, nobody can make me. You know how y'all be like, nobody can make me? Nobody can make, like, it's easy to make me hate a lot of people. But that man upstairs, nobody can make me hate him. Y'all could try like swaying and, well, this and that. No. When all hell when all else fails, all hell. When all else fails, because there will be a time where it's like a lot of Christians aren't gonna want to proclaim their faith anymore simply because like they're being prosecuted. We know the time's gonna come. The Bible said it. But when that time comes, I'm just gonna be standing 10 toes because that man upstairs did things for me nobody would think twice about, type stuff. So we're not talking about that though. We're talking about me getting into it with him. I ain't really get into it with him, but it's just like he didn't piss me off because I'm just dramatic, y'all. I promise y'all I'm just dramatic, and he knows I'm dramatic because this will happen every now and then. So it's just like when it comes down to it, like I'll be working, and I don't get me wrong, even when I'm pissed off at him, I be talking to him. I just don't be talking to him as long. Like I'm a work in progress. I keep telling y'all this because I know I am. And I've come a long way. That's why I tell people not to shun people when it comes to like religion, because you don't know how far that person has come. So have some grace. You know, I'm not saying don't educate people on the religion, but have some grace. It doesn't just have to pertain to Christianity. Have grace, you know. But anyways, um, when it comes down to it, I was pissed off without saying too much simply because like I was frustrated. I was doing so much and I am still doing so much, and nothing irritates me more when I feel like I don't see progress. And I'm the type where I hold strong to the belief of have faith as small as a mustard seed, have childlike faith. That those notions, like faith is strong, like your faith has to be strong. So it's just like I'm never swayed from my religion. I'm never swayed to the point where it's like I have no faith no more. I will be frustrated and be like, I'll still thank him for the little things. That's what I want y'all to understand, because it's like, progress isn't being made like I want to. And I've just been working, and I haven't been reaping what I've been sowing. Well, at least I haven't been seeing, my rewards at the end of this tunnel. Like I'm in this tunnel and I'm just not seeing nothing. But you know what? Thank you for the little things. And it really just be the little things. Like, you know what? I ate today. And that's one thing I always remind myself, like, I just can't be ungrateful. I ate today. Thank you. My phone bill's paid. Thank you. Like type stuff, like it really just be the little things. But yeah, I was pissed with him, and I just simply because I felt like progress wasn't being made. And then don't get me wrong though. I realized that, obviously time again, like you will be tested. Your faith will be tested. I understand that. And that's what it is. Like I realized that each time my faith is tested, like I'm not as swayed. Oh, why in the world did this just pop in my head? I promise y'all, I forgot all about this, but it just popped in my head. That's see, that's why we talk about the Lord. We try to be funny. Cause I remember this one time where it's just like, when I was smaller, I wanted to get like, I was of age versus like I was going to get, I was going to have my license. So I needed a car. And one thing about it, and 10 things for sure, the signs are always there. That's why you have to like have an intimate relationship personally with the Lord, because you have to understand the signs. Your signs might not be the same signs as somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to persuade nobody to my religion. Just hang in with me there. But anyways, I'm not trying to, like I said, persuade anybody to my religion. But for the most part, like the signs always are there before the storm. Like there will be signs if you don't pay attention to it. The storm just has to happen. So y'all, I was young and I was looking at cars. Keep in mind at the time, I'm knowing nothing about cars, but I know I wanted to buy a car. Y'all, little me decides we gonna go on Craigslist. Because everybody, and don't be like, well, everybody kept telling me Craigslist. So I'm just thinking like, okay, cool. Craigslist. I'm not knowing where to find cars, but everybody keeps talking about Craigslist. I don't know what Craig in his list got to do with a car, but y'all must know something I don't know, And I'm scrolling down. Looking back, the signs could have been there. I probably did identify the signs later on. But long story short and short story long, I ended up getting scammed out of like $3,000. Because I had sent the person money and they were supposed to like transport the car to our house. Well, I think we were living in the house at the time, because I don't think we were in the apartment anymore. I think we had moved to the house. So they were supposed to transport the car from whatever state to like my state, and whatever. Woo. And it wasn't like a crazy car. Like I'm not one of them girls like I need the flashy stuff. I need to keep up. No, I just never needed to. At some point I did feel the need to like keep up, but after a while, like the lust for materialistic things they started dying off. Long story short, short story long, y'all. I got scammed out of almost, like I told y'all, like, was it 3,000? It was high threes. It was creeping up to the fours, but nonetheless, get scammed, money taken, whoopty whoopty whoop. File a claim with the FBI because, like, I want my money back. So I'm filing a claim. I'm doing everything that I can because somebody's going to give me my money. I'm pissed off. And at this point, I get pissed off at the Lord. And I just tell him, like, it's your fault. Because if I'm supposed to be one of your, shepherd, I'm not shepherds. You the shepherd. I'm the sheep. But if I'm supposed to be one of your sheep, like, you were supposed to let me know. And it's like, I was so pissed off. And I didn't want to hear nothing of, you have to be tested and whoop before the blessing can come. I don't want to hear none of that. Nothing. I was so heartbroken, y'all. Like, I was so heartbroken. It took everything in me. Like, don't get me wrong, I cried. It took everything in me to, like, understand why, because I wanted to know why. Why? Like, heavy on why me. And I'm not saying why me, like, oh my goodness, why me. I'm not having a pity party. But for the most part, like, I just didn't understand why. Like, why would that happen? You know how badly I needed the car. Like, and it's not like I needed the car to hang out with friends. Like, I probably wanted to get a job or something to help my mom. I don't know where my brain was at the time, but it's just like, why? Like, why would this happen? Y'all, it went to the point where it's just like, I didn't talk to the Lord for, I think probably like, it had to have been, I want to say, like, almost a year. I didn't talk to him. And I just didn't want to have anything to do with religion. I didn't, because I just felt like all of this has to be mosh posh. Y'all just be saying whatever and doing whatever. And I can't tell you I remember what brought me back to my faith, but I remember when I came back to Christianity, I wasn't your strongest soldier. Like, I was there, but I wasn't there. Like, I'm listening, the messages are coming in, but at the same time, like, I just couldn't let go of what had happened. And I like to think things happen in life because it's either you're supposed to learn from it or you're supposed to help people understand. Like, now I look back on my life and I was a sad kid, if you understand. Like, if you listen to my poetry from when I read, like, me being a kid, my little poetry sessions, you understand how much of a sad kid I was, bro. I was such a sad kid. But that's because, like, so much things were happening to me. Like, I was one of those kids where it's like, damn, she had to grow up before like, I was just one of those people where it's like, I grew up before my time. Like, I had a childhood, but not really, So when, like, don't get me wrong, every now and then I do have my little pity parties and I do just be needing a break because, like, at the end of the day, I keep planting. You keep telling me to plant these seeds and our garden's going to grow and I'm not seeing that. And when I'm feeling frustrated like that, I just take a break. And I breathe in. And to be honest, that's all it is. Like, I might look crazy to some people, like, damn. Because I think I've been like doing this YouTube stuff for like a year now. I think, like, I hit my 1 year mark. And it's just like some people make progress within 6 months. Some people, like, they take off right away. And I just always remind myself not to compare myself to other people simply because, like, each person's different. Like, for me, I had an encounter with fame at a young age. Like, I told y'all, if you watch my first video that I made, I told y'all, like, I was on this app called Live.me. And then, like, I was just on there. And then one day I woke up, and it really just takes one day. I woke up, boom, followers jumping out. I don't know what they jumping out. I was trying to make a reference, but I don't know what to refer to. They were just all over. Like, I was just, like, blowing up. It was kind of like an overnight thing. And if you didn't know better, you would be like, oh yeah, it happened overnight. Like, yeah. But you don't see the grind. Like, nobody ever sees the grind. It just feels like an overnight thing to them. You know what I mean? So for the most part, I look at stuff that's happened in my life, and that's what really just keeps me going. Remembering all the hard times. Because at the end of the day, it's the same thing. Like, the trials might not be the same, but it's the same thing. After the storm comes the rainbow. The rainbow's always there. You don't have to, like, like be crazy in the storm. The storm is beating you up. He knows it's beating you up. I know that man knows it's beating me up. But at the same time, like, I'm pissy. I'm not getting my way. That's why I keep saying, like, I'm a spoiled brat. And I'm a spoiled brat not because, like, I'm a spoiled brat. I never grew up being a spoiled brat. I like to think the Lord made me a spoiled brat because there's opportunities, places I was in where it's just like, babe, I'm not qualified for this. I don't know nothing about nothing. But somehow I'm here. And, like, when I'm in rooms that I just know, and I'm not going to say I shouldn't be in because I can't say that, you know? To say I'm not supposed to be in that rooms is to say the Lord didn't open these doors for me. Exactly. Counterproductive. So, like, when I'm in rooms, I know people, everybody else I just don't fit the norm of the room. I like that. I don't know how else to place it, but it's like when I know I don't fit the norm of that room and it's just like, yeah, how I get here type stuff. Y'all, I just don't know how to explain it. So yeah, that's what happened to me. I had a little pissy party, and I was upset. And yeah, I mean, cause it's like, it's not just, I don't just record these videos. Like at this point, I don't really just record these videos. I do a whole bunch of other stuff behind the scenes that I really just don't talk about. So when I say like things weren't going right, baby, things weren't going right. And when things aren't going right, I'm not one of those people who, and the Lord got a funny way. One thing about it, 10 things for sure. Cause I'm the type, if things ain't going right, let me go out and have a good time. Y'all, when I tell y'all this man sat me down, he said, you're not going nowhere. And that's what made me even more pissed. Like, he sat me down and then I had to face the music that progress is just not being made. Like, I'm not being as productive as I want to be. Like, I am being productive, but at the same time, I'm not reaping you know what I mean? Like, you get what I'm saying? So, yeah. And I have these moments every now and then, like, they're not back to back to back. But when I do have these moments, I just ride it out. I just write it out. Cause what can you do? I just write it out, bro. And I usually am not transparent about like any of that. Not because I'm trying to like fake the funk, like, oh, my life is glamorous. You want to have my life. No, I just don't. I'm just not one of those people who I'm going to talk about what's going on in my life because I have a tendency of, if you're not going to help fix it, there's no need to mention it, you know? So I just be keeping stuff to myself because at the end of the day, I'm going to talk about it. And if I talk about it and nothing gets done, I'm pissed off because like I wasted my time. Time is heavy for me. So, yeah. I said that to say this because I understand like people, there's obviously different things you're going through, but at the end of the day, it usually is all the same in the sense where you're just tired. You're tired. And I understand. Keep going. You might look crazy to people because they say when you do something over and over, that's the definition of insanity or somehow, however the saying goes. Baby, call me cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Screws loose. Psycho. That's me. I'm going to keep knocking at this door until this door busts down. That's just how I always been. That's just how I always been, you know? So I understand, like I told y'all with the whole like reference, I understand it's the overnight thing. Like you could be here one day and then boom, skyrocketing the next. Anyways, enough of that. What else have I been going through? There's so much stuff on this table. But in the meantime, when all that's going on, I always try to pivot. I always try to find the brighter side to things. All in all, I really want y'all to know that when it comes down to economical strifes, there is a light at the end of this tunnel. And I'm gonna break this down for y'all. We're gonna have like a crash course, the easiest crash course. Now, like I told y'all from the beginning, I don't proclaim to know everything when I'm in the room. I don't do a lot of talking simply because I like to hear what other people have to say. Because like you might know something I don't know. And I'm like a sponge. In life, you just have to be a sponge willing to absorb things. Okay. So when it comes down to it, like when we had COVID, because I know a lot of y'all like the economy is so bad, the economy is so bad, the economy is actually getting better. And you're like, but it doesn't look like it. It never looks like it, but it's not about what it seems like. It's about what it is. Okay. So I'm going to break this down to y'all, as best as I can. So boom, COVID happened. When COVID happened, I just like, I'm not going to say I knew, but cause I like history. And when I like history, baby, the dots, one thing I understand, okay, when it comes down to school, I hope this helps somebody. When it comes down to school, you have to help. Like, I understood a lot of my subjects because I connected the dots. A lot of the subjects refer back to the same, like other subjects. Does that make sense? Like Charles Darwin, for instance. We talk about evolution and science, but then he ends up getting referred in, I forgot what class it was, but it was a class that had nothing to do with science, but he got referred again. I think it was like English or something, or maybe it was like I don't know. It was some class, excuse me. It was some class he got referenced again. So it's like making connections. That'll help you. Just make connections. How can you have to interpret what the person say. Like, I always reinterpreted what my teachers were saying. And if I didn't understand what they were saying, I would go up to them. I'd be like, so you're telling me the pie is purple? And he's like, well, if you want to put it that way, yeah. Bingo. Go ask for clarifications. Like, use references. I always refer to things and use it. I'm good at analogies. I've always been an analogy type of girl. There's something I don't want to say there's something poetic about me, but it's just like, that's just how I think. That's how my brain processes things. But anyways, these videos are getting long and random rants are never meant to be long. So let me break this down to you. Let me finish this last phrase. So boom, like I told y'all, COVID happened, right? And when COVID happened, you have to understand, like, when any crisis like that happens and funds have to be released, there will be a slump in the economy simply because, like, relief has to, I don't know. Here, let me, hold on. Anyways, okay, boom. So when relief is let out, it breaks down. When anything out of the norm happens economically, it's like cause and effect. Boom. That's what I'm trying to get at. Cause and effect. If this happens, something has to happen. There will be repercussions. That's what I need you to understand about economics. Cause and effect. That's your biggest friend. Cause and effect. If you want to understand anything, understand cause and effect. Right? So because there was so much money that was given out for relief, what was the effect of that going to be? Exactly. So we just so happen to be living in the time of cause and effect where you can see the cause and effect. So boom, a lot of money sent out. Government's like, let me help y'all out. But at the same time, people weren't working to put that money back in the economy. They were just giving the money out in order for you to put it in the economy because they wanted y'all to use the money. So you could put it back into the economy and it could keep the wheel running because, like, democracy, not really democracy, because we know it's not really democracy. But that's just a whole bunch of the other mosh posh that we don't need to get into. So anyways, so boom, keep the wheels running. Exactly like I told y'all. So the wheels are turning. Boom. There's so much money out there. Recession. Think of a recession as like the point in time where it's just like think of it as a fancy word of naming overflow, right? But then recession has a cause and effect as well. Everything has a cause and effect. So it's like, how do we get in a recession? Well, there's so much money going everywhere that we got to wind it back in. So a lot of money was everywhere. Not only were you guys getting the stimulus, the PPP loans, like there was money all over. As it pertains to investment, that's probably not the best time to invest. It might look like the best time to invest, but it's not really the best time to invest. I'm going to tell you when the best time to invest is, and hopefully I can say this really quick. So I'm going to start talking a little faster. Exactly. So boom. All of this goes down, right? Recession happens. There's so much money in the air. The government got to wait. We got to roll that money back. We have to, because like the scales have to be balanced. Like there has this cause and effect order. Those are your two words. Cause and effect, one word, order. Scales balance. Another set. Exactly. So that's just the economy. Cause and effect, scales have to be balanced. So with all that money being out, everybody's spending money. How are we going to get the money back in? Well, increase the prices of everything. You increase the prices of everything. Everybody's complaining about gas. Oh my goodness, gas is outrageous. This, that, and the other. Don't get me wrong. There was like all the tussle and the hustle with like finding gas and all that other stuff, but we're not looking at that. We're not looking at that. Okay. We're not looking at that. Cause and effect. So all this is going on. People are being scarce with their resources. Obviously they're being scarce because like, babe, we're going through a crisis. Like, hold on now. We can't give off all our goods because we might need the goods. That's the whole concept of it. So everybody's being real stingy with it. Prices go up, but prices going up is kind of a good thing because that brings money back. Like now we're reeling back in the money. Like we gave y'all money, but we got to take it back. We got to take it back. We got to take it back. We got to keep the scales balanced. Okay. Now, however, with all this hustle and tussle, this is the perfect time to like jump social classes. But then this is the best time that you can drop social classes. Okay, exactly. All this money's going around, boom, boom, boom. Now you're like, well, inflation. The prices went up, right? Cause, effect. Cause and effect. Okay. So boom. All this goes on, right? All this goes on. Everybody's feeling it. Your pockets are feeling it. It's feeling it real bad. You pissed off because excuse the hell out of me. I don't want to be part of this. So all this going on, you just can't do this no more. All the prices are going crazy. Everybody's talking about like, oh my goodness, this, that, and the other. Everybody was buying cars. They were taking out loans for homes, this, that, and the other, because it's like they could afford it financially. But you have to understand with all that money going out and the point in time where there wasn't enough money going back in, there was going to be a dip. It was just a matter of time till that dip occurred. And that dip was going to occur. And when that dip occurred, that's why I'm saying it's not the best time to like play with the stock market, simply because when that dip happens, losses occurred. Losses occurred because like the money you were making is not consistent. It's not consistent because all that money wasn't necessarily what you would be making on a day-to-day basis. It was just for that period of time. So you took advantage of that period of time. You took out loans, this, that, and the other. This is the worst time to be taking out loans. Okay. So when there's so much money going on, you need to start living below your means. And I say this because crisis happens all the time. So this is a life lesson, right? So you need to there's so much money you could take advantage of, but you need to start living below your means. Don't take as much don't take out as much stuff, that you just can't pay off, because when that dip happens, then you got to do stuff like give back your car, downgrade on housing because you can't afford your mortgage no more, type stuff, right? Type stuff. So now everybody's just like, well, the economy's so bad. We're actually at the end of all of this. Like everything is essentially wrapping up. You just don't feel it quite yet. It's like, think of all of this as like, I hope I didn't lose you anywhere. Think of all of this as like planking. You know, when you're working out, you got that 1 minute plank, not even 1 minute, because that's extreme. That's extreme for some people. 30 seconds, that 30-second plank. And it's just like that, those last 5 seconds, they're so painful. But you know, at the end, the results are going to be magnificent, right? Exactly. It's like planking. We're at the last 5 seconds. We are. Did I say minutes? I meant to say seconds. Anyways, we're at the last 5 seconds and everybody's feeling everything. Like everybody's hustling, tussling. They're pissed off. You're pissed off, as you should be. But we're at the last 5 seconds simply because, and this is how I knew we were at the last 5 seconds. I knew we was going to end up going through a recession sooner or later. Cause like I told y'all, too much money going out, not enough money coming in. And you're like, how did you know this? Well, when I was like, during the pandemic, I ended up like teaching myself about financial literacy. But that's another story of its own. Anyways, so boom. All this goes on with you. Like I told y'all, history is bound to repeat itself. So it's just like, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Okay. Like, I think it was the Bible that said it. There's nothing new under the sun. Is that? I think that's right. Who knows exactly? Okay. Exactly. Back to what I was saying. So everybody's struggling. Everybody's pissed off, but you have to understand the key signs that we're at the last ends of our 5 seconds is the fact that the car, like when people started returning all their stuff, you knew that because there's not as much money out anymore, right? Okay, so there's not as much money out anymore, so they can't steal from you because dealerships, housing, a lot of them were stealing from you. They were upping all the prices because they know essentially like, baby, you got it, but they know you don't have it no more because everybody's pissed off. You're at the last 5 seconds of your plank. You're pissed off. You don't want to talk to nobody. Stop talking to me. So you're at this last 5 seconds, But the dealerships, the housing, they don't know what to do. They know your results are bound to come in. Is that a right analogy? Who really knows? Anyways, they know like you can't afford these payments no more. They know, but at the same time, they got to get rid of it, and they can't just steal from you no more. They can't up the prices, so it's a matter of time till they have to drop the prices because they know your income has to match what they're trying to sell to you. Exactly. So with the whole like return of cars and government stepping in for the housing, it's just a matter of time. I can't give y'all a set time on when it's going to happen because I could really tell y'all like, oh, it's going to happen in 6 months. And you're like, 6 months? 6 months is crazy. But at the same time, we just got done with 6 months. Like we're almost done with the year. We're halfway through the year. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy. Exactly. Y'all keep talking about these months are zooming by. The whole of 2024 is zooming by because where the hell do you have to go? Why do you want to meet 25 so bad? What does she have that we don't know that she has? Yeah, that's another story for another day. Anyway, so yeah, it's just all a matter of time till everything balances itself out because it has to balance itself out in order for the economy to keep going. So, I guess this all coincides to each other. There are brighter days. You know, like I had to tell myself there are brighter days. Economically, there will be brighter days. I can't really give y'all a time frame simply because like, who knows? But it's in the works. It's all in the works. Everything's being corrected. The car market, and that's the best time to invest, which would be like right about now. Because when that boom hits and everything starts plummeting and like it's terrible. You're like, but this sounds like the worst time. Always invest when everybody's scared. That's but I don't proclaim to know everything. I'm only 23. So I'm just saying, after all of this, there will be a big boom because once all the prices drops, everybody's going to be able to buy everything because the prices are matching everybody's income. And then boom, investments, all your investments, you're capitalizing all of it.